Let's be honest, you're never coming back here. So let's just get this is exciting. This is special.
I wouldn't count on another 50
good.
years.
It looks good.
No.
Hollywood icon Barbra Streisand and famous director James Brolin have always seemed like the perfect couple. With careers that have lasted nearly a century and a relationship spanning decades, they've become a model for long-lasting love in Hollywood. Their relationship, free from scandal and drama, has always fascinated fans.
Most people don't tell the truth. They're afraid of the truth, right? But I like the truth. You don't have to think about what you said before.
However, recently, some strange details about their marriage have come to light that have raised eyebrows. Could their unconventional love be the secret to their lasting bond? Or is there something more unusual going on? Join us as we uncover all the bizarre truths behind Barbra and James's uniquely weird marriage. This is something you don't want to miss. The unconventional first meeting. Before we dive into the details of how things have gone weird with their marriage, let's revisit how Barbra Streisand and James Brolin first met. James and Barbra have long been admired as the it couple since they made their relationship public. Back then, Barbra was at the pinnacle of her career, having won a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Golden Globe. James wasn't far behind, having directed multiple award-winning movies. When news of their relationship broke out, it was warmly received and even labeled couple goals. This down-to-earth duo seemed like the perfect match, and their achievements were just the cherry on top. However, when the details of their unusual first meeting emerged, people were in for a surprise. Barbra shared that they met at a dinner party arranged by the ex-wife of her former live-in boyfriend, producer John Peters. Yes, it sounds complicated, and Barbra thought so too. She later confessed that the odd circumstances almost made her skip meeting James that night. In an appearance on The Tonight Show, Barbra admitted she was so nervous about their blind date that she hid out with the other guests' children downstairs until it was time for dinner. She tried to avoid meeting James because she felt too shy. To add to the unconventional start, James didn't look anything like what Barbra expected. She shared with W magazine that she anticipated James to be a rugged, bearded mountain man type, an embodiment of masculinity. Instead, she met a bald, clean-shaven James. She couldn't resist jokingly asking him who messed up his hair, marking the beginning of their unexpected yet intriguing journey together. For James, things were different. It was Barbra's genuine concern, coupled with her boldness to touch his head and ask that kind of question, that won his heart. Deep down, he knew he just had a love-at-first-sight moment. Barbra later shared that James had fallen in love with her then and there because he liked to hear the truth, and she told him just as it was. Although the same couldn't be said for her initially, Barbra still indulged James in a date after the party, leading to their first official outing on the 1st of July, 1996. It went so well that they almost shared their first kiss. Afterward, they talked on the phone until 3 in the morning, long after the date had ended. It seemed their budding romance would continue uninterrupted, but just 3 months after their memorable first date, James was shipped off to Ireland to direct his political thriller, My Brother's War. But the distance didn't deter them. Barbra told People magazine that they talked so much during his absence that she even fell asleep on the bathroom floor with a phone pressed to her ear. Around this time, Barbra was starring in, directing, and producing her movie, The Mirror Has Two Faces. In an interview with the Los Angeles Times, she opened up about how she managed to balance their budding relationship with her demanding career. Since she and James couldn't meet while she was making the movie, they had to wait until she was done. Then they could meet at her house while she was editing it. Shortly after, James left his own home, a 2-bedroom condo, and moved in with her. It was at this point that their relationship began to gain buzz and traction because the pair had reportedly been spotted multiple times together. During this time, James finally won her heart with his culinary skills, charming her since she couldn't cook. According to Barbra, it made him all the more appealing, especially since he topped it all off by making her favorite meal of sushi. Although he fell first, she fell harder, and together, they decided it was time to go public with their relationship. Following this, the couple made their red carpet debut at the premiere of The Mirror Has Two Faces at the Ziegfeld Theater in New York City, standing side by side in matching black outfits. Their relationship caused quite a stir in the media, but their supporters were happy for them. Their unlikely connection and the unique story behind it made them one of the most popular couples. Possibly because their relationship was young, Barbra and James appeared to love all the positive attention they'd gotten, because shortly after, they resurfaced together once again at another red carpet event. This time, it was for the 1997 Oscars, as Barbra's film, The Mirror Has Two Faces, had received numerous nominations. Celine Dion even performed a rendition of her song, I Finally Found Someone, and James was right by Barbra's side to witness it all together. This was one of the moments that defined the couple's decision to spend the rest of their lives together. So, it wasn't surprising when, only a couple of years later, they were at the altar. However, for a couple as famous as James and Barbra, get ready to be surprised by how their wedding went down. Marriage with a twist. After realizing they were truly made for each other, James knew he wanted to be with Barbra for life. 2 years later, they got married. Their incredible relationship had finally blossomed into the lifelong commitment everyone had been eagerly awaiting. But the wedding wasn't a grand affair with hundreds of guests. Instead, they decided to keep it very private, inviting only their closest friends. They wanted to be surrounded by people they had loved for a long time. This decision wasn't spontaneous. They had been slowly stepping away from the spotlight for a while. Their frequent red carpet appearances and public outings decreased, so it wasn't surprising when they shared the news of their intimate wedding. Fans and supporters were left guessing about the wedding location. Rumors flew. Some said they might elope to Tahiti, while others thought they'd marry on a marine base to avoid the paparazzi. But the couple surprised everyone by choosing to exchange vows at home. By early June, preparations were in full swing, with their managers spending hours with caterer Mary Micucci discussing confidentiality, logistics, and security to ensure their privacy. Barbra took charge of designing her dream wedding. She chose fruitwood ballroom chairs, cream-colored vintage damask tablecloths, matching napkins, and seat covers. She completed the theme with Sèvres porcelain plates and oversized French silver flatware. Mary, the caterer, told People magazine that Barbra was patient and happy throughout the preparations, only feeling the usual bride anxiety a few days before the ceremony. As the big day approached, everything fell into place. The venue was a stunning 2,800-square-foot ivory voile tent on the ocean view lawn of Barbra's home. Flowers were everywhere. Barbra descended a staircase decorated with 750 roses. 50 pink water lilies and 100 candles floated in the swimming pool, and tables were set with pink miniature rosebuds. Her close friend Joanne Siegel described the wedding as heavenly, with Barbra looking like a vision from a dream. The highlight was Barbra overcoming her stage fright to sing 2 love songs for her groom. James was overwhelmed with joy. In an interview, he shared that he could barely sleep after marrying Barbra, not wanting to waste a minute of their time together. For him, every day was an adventure with his bride, and he was always excited to see her the next morning. Their wedding was indeed heavenly. But the press saw little of it due to the couple's strict privacy measures. Invitations were discreetly sent via phone calls to selected friends. Barbra even instructed her florist, David Mark, to create an amaranthus and rose scrim over the living room's picture window to block prying cameras. Sound from the wedding was also protected. The New York Daily News reported that Barbra played loud jungle noises and bad rock and roll music outside their tent to prevent the press from hearing their personalized vows. The only source of information was the attendees, including Barbra's close friend, John Travolta. John, one of the first invitees, shared details with People magazine. He and 105 guests, including stars like Diane Keaton, Karen Allen, Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson, Quincy Jones, and Sidney Pollack, were present. John recalled that their vows were so touching that he and his wife couldn't help but cry. He confirmed that the wedding was the most beautiful one he'd ever attended. The beauty was crowned with the couple's honeymoon at the Channel Islands of Santa Barbara. Despite their dream wedding, Barbra and James haven't always had it easy in matters of the heart. For Barbra, especially, relationships haven't always been smooth. Let's dive into the details. Barbra's tumultuous romantic life. Barbra has had a string of relationships, many of which have been far from smooth. Despite the high praise for her recent wedding, no one, including Barbra herself, thought it would ever happen. In an interview with People, Barbra revealed that just 2 years before her wedding, she had believed she would never get married. She had made peace with this idea and was beginning to enjoy her solitude. James even shared with Gayle King on CBS Sunday Morning that he proposed to Barbra 3 times before she finally said yes. At first, she wasn't sure about the idea, which led to their 2-year courtship. Given Barbra's relationship history, many were surprised she decided to marry at all. Her past relationships often seemed fleeting, ranging from short-term flings to longer but ultimately casual connections. Marriage didn't seem like an end goal for her. One of the people most surprised by her marriage was her ex-boyfriend and ice cream heir, Richard Baskin. He was even more astonished when he received an invitation to her secret wedding. Barbra and Richard met in 1983 when he was an emerging songwriter. Their professional relationship blossomed into a full-blown romance. By 1984, he had produced and composed many tracks on her album Emotion, and more for her 1985 The Broadway album. Richard was deeply supportive of Barbra, always going the extra mile to see her shine. He even helped get her cast in the 1987 film Nuts, an adaptation of a play Barbra had long dreamed of starring in. Despite his dedication, Barbra ended their relationship in 1987, shortly after Nuts premiered. She reportedly left him for another man, Don Johnson, whom she fell for later in their relationship. Barbra's relationship with Don was unlikely but passionate. Don, a producer, was known for his irresistible charm. Barbra, smitten, even made a cameo appearance in his movie Miami Vice. However, like her relationship with Richard, her romance with Don was short-lived. Her longest romance before James was her 8-year marriage to actor Elliot Gould. Their relationship was one of Hollywood's most talked about in the 60s. The public was fascinated by their love story, especially since they often acted together. Barbra and Elliot first met in 1962, when she auditioned for the Broadway production of I Can Get It for You Wholesale. Elliot had already been cast as the lead, and Barbra was vying for the role of his co-star. After her final audition, she announced her phone number, and Elliot remembered it and called her. Their meet-cute led to a beautiful love story. Barbra got the role, and after a year of courting, they married the following year. At this time, both were rising stars in the industry. Elliot described these early days as the happiest of their lives, living together in a small one-bedroom apartment. However, their happiness was short-lived. Their careers soon took off, with Barbra becoming a household name. Elliot found himself often referred to by the press as Mr. Streisand, which began to strain their marriage. After the birth of their son, James Gould, in 1966, the marriage deteriorated. They separated in 1969 and divorced in 1971. Elliot later admitted that Barbra's growing fame made it hard for him to keep up, leading to their separation. Despite the divorce, Elliot stated he held no hard feelings and was grateful for their son. However, Elliot's feelings might have been more complex. Another one of Barbra's relationships, which began before their divorce was finalized, came to light and was quite shocking. She allegedly had an affair with her Funny Girl co-star, Omar Sharif. Omar later admitted in interviews that he loved Barbra because of her vibrant personality. He was willing to move to New York and even convert to Judaism for her. Their romance was complicated and faced strong opposition, especially because Barbra was still married to Elliot. The controversy surrounding their relationship even led to some of their movies being banned internationally. According to the Los Angeles Times, their on-screen kiss almost cost Omar his Egyptian citizenship. After her affair with Omar ended, Barbra took a long break before entering another long-term relationship with John Peters in 1973. John, originally Barbra's wig maker, became her lover and friend. With Barbra's help, John transitioned into a star actor and landed a role in the movie A Star is Born, which marked his first production credit. The movie was a commercial success, winning Academy Awards and Grammys. John credited Barbra for his success. Barbra and John's relationship was rocky. They eventually split in 1983 after almost 10 years together. Barbra personally announced their breakup to People, citing her directorial role in the movie Yentl as a factor in their separation. Barbra's celebrity status also saw her involved with other high-profile personalities, including Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, whom she dated for a year. She had a brief romance with her What's Up Doc co-star Ryan O'Neal, who she started dating after meeting him. There were also rumors of her being linked to Warren Beatty, although Barbra claimed they were just friends. Barbra's romantic history is a testament to her complex love life. But what about James? What was his relationship history like? James's past marriages and relationships. James wasn't always the picture of a committed partner. He had a reputation as quite the playboy. When he went on his first date with Barbra in July 1996, he had been divorced for just a year. From 1986 to 1995, James was married to actress Jan Smithers, best known for her role as Bailey Quarters on the CBS sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati. James and Jan's relationship reportedly started on the set of the ABC soap opera series Hotel, where she first guest-starred in March 1984. But their romance was far from straightforward. James was still married to his first wife, Jane Cameron Agee, when he met Jan. Despite his attraction to Jan, his divorce from Jane wasn't finalized when he pursued this new relationship. Despite the ongoing legal ties to Jane, James, and Jan, he went ahead and had an unofficial wedding in Canada. This complicated situation caused a lot of tension and pain, especially for their children. James's son, Josh, had a particularly tough time. He acted out on the set of The Goonies, where he was receiving lessons, giving his on-set teacher a hard time. The situation escalated when Jane accused James of bigamy, but he seemed unbothered. He continued his relationship with Jan and soon impregnated her. They had a daughter, Molly, who became James's only daughter. James and Jan's marriage lasted 9 years, which was 3 years shorter than his 18-year-long marriage with Jane Agee. After his second divorce, James decided to take a break from relationships. He went celibate for 3 years, explaining in an interview that he wanted to avoid another messy situation and needed time alone. This period of solitude eventually led him to Barbra. Ever since then, these two have essentially been killing it in their careers and marriage for longer than most of us have been alive, and they seem to share a perfect relationship. But that doesn't mean that certain quirks in their long-time romance haven't raised a few eyebrows over the years. So, what are these strange facts about Streisand and Brolin's marriage? The weird things. From their relationship histories to their characters, these two have a similarity unlike any other. They share the same sentiment about keeping their private lives private. Since their wedding, the pair have made efforts to be seen less in the public eye together, especially when they go out casually. James told Parade magazine in 2010 that they avoided going to famous places or restaurants for their date nights to avoid the paparazzi. He described them as rats, stating that they tailed them a lot. Their only solution was to go to unpopular places. But that isn't the only strange quirk of the couple. Barbra revealed in her book that same year, My Passion for Design, that their Malibu estate contains a secret basement mall that isn't bare. The mall is packed with a vintage dress shop, a frozen yogurt stand, and an antique doll boutique. According to her in her interview with Harper's Bazaar in 2010, the whole idea behind the mall was to have a street of shops to display her items, instead of just storing them in the basement. Although it is a secret, she usually lets special guests visit. During a celebrity dinner party at her house, she invited pop star Lady Gaga and Glee creator Ryan Murphy to her basement mall. Ryan told Vulture magazine in 2015 that Barbra asked them to visit her mall, and they indulged her. It was quite fun because they spent an hour in the basement. Ryan also recalled that she showed them her collection of gowns from Funny Girl and Hello Dolly. Aside from her weird obsession with her underground mall, Barbra had an obsession with her dog, Samantha. Since she and James already had children, they didn't try to conceive anymore in their marriage. Rather, the pair became the parents of Barbra's dog, Samantha. So when she died, they were devastated. However, they didn't let go. They got 3 Coton de Tuileries puppies, 2 of whom were cloned from her late dog, Samantha. In her interview with the New York Times, she revealed that she was heartbroken about Samantha's death since they had spent 14 years together, which made it hard for her to let go, hence the cloning of the other 2 dogs. But that didn't do much to ease her pain, as she still missed Samantha. However, she was satisfied that her puppies looked like her and was grateful for her family and life in general. On the verge of calling it quits, rumors have swirled around Barbra Streisand and James Brolin for years, suggesting their relationship was on the brink of collapse. In 2018 alone, the couple faced a barrage of nasty divorce speculations. In April, sources from the National Enquirer claimed that their wacky ways and strange hobbies were causing a significant rift in their relationship. According to insiders, unless they changed their erratic lifestyle, divorce seemed imminent. Later that year, Star magazine reported that Barbra and James were bickering non-stop over financial matters related to home renovations, further fueling the gossip. Despite these challenges, Barbra and James have weathered many storms together. They've been through ups and downs, and their relationship has stood the test of time. However, these reports were swiftly debunked. A representative for Streisand clarified to Gossip Cop that the couple had never been happier, dismissing the rumors as baseless. As Barbra herself pointed out on the Meredith Vieira show, tabloid gossip often misrepresents reality. She humorously recounted an incident at a supermarket where a stranger congratulated them on getting back together, to which she responded with bemusement. Barbra emphasized that their relationship had never faltered in the first place, despite what the tabloids claimed. So, how have Barbra and James managed to keep their love strong over the years? The odd secret to their successful marriage. As their relationship has progressed, Barbra and James have become the face of a long-lasting marriage and happy family in Hollywood. Everyone wants to know their secrets, and they haven't been too revealing with the details. James shared that his first secret was revealed to him by actress Connie Sellecca, who acted in his movie Hotel. He told people in 2022 that her advice had stayed with him for years, as it was not only shocking, but the greatest idea ever. He said she told him to call a shrink 6 months before getting married. She said that he and his spouse had to sit there with the shrink, so that once they got married, they could always call the shrink back to help them tune things in the face of an argument. James held this advice very dear because he said the same thing while speaking to Entertainment Tonight in 2018. He said that he believed in counseling if anybody ever had a problem in their marriage, stating that a referee was sure to dispel any arguments between spouses. James has held steady in his belief, even reaffirming that there were benefits to speaking with a professional or any third party at all. In his words, whether it was a paid professional or a smart friend, a third party was advised. Barbra also shared his belief in marriage counseling. According to her, this is one of the key things that has helped them forge a strong bond over the years. James even coined his infamous quote about couples sticking together and crying together from their experience. However, even with the help of a counselor, their marriage hasn't been exactly rosy. Since both of them had many unlucky romances before getting together, neither of them thought they would find love again, especially in their 50s. But they kept pushing forward together. Barbra stated that though their marital problems weren't easy, she and James tried to work on them every day. She told Closer Weekly that because they were opposites, she and James were attracted, and they regarded their imperfections as perfections as a result of the love they shared. To her, James's flaws were the same as his gifts. James also gave away another of their top secret keys to a long-lasting marriage. He told HuffPost Live in 2015 that they were bifurcated and he loved it that way. And what he meant by that was that they had separate bank accounts. His revelation shocked everyone because people assumed they were the couple who shared everything. James debunked this and explained that they chose not to share their money because he had seen what happened after that in his previous marriages. He stated that because he didn't want to be divorced again, they maintained the separate bank account rule. And it has worked magic for them as they have been together for over 2 decades. Barbra shared that other simple things, like spending quality time together and putting family first, were also separate ingredients to their long marriage. James told Closer Weekly in 2013 that he and Barbra did everything together, and she agreed, saying that she paid attention to him and had kindness in her heart for him as well. She also shared another secret to their marriage with Variety. This time around, the second secret was to listen carefully. She was already a good listener because of her career in acting. But to be an even better spouse to James, she had to listen and hear what James was saying. In summary, they agreed to disagree. However, people threatened to destroy their beautiful dynamic. James, who is already a big name in the film industry with many directing credits, also acquired the famous nickname Mr. Barbra Streisand. The cursed nickname followed him from the moment they married, and Barbra wasn't very pleased about it. A source told Life and Style in 2017 that she found it very disrespectful and couldn't condone it. The source revealed that she heard it when a man working on constructing something at the married pair's Malibu home used the nickname to address James. Barbra reportedly flared up and warned the guy about it. She also went on to complain to the company he worked for about the alleged incident in a lengthy email. To top it off, she cut ties with their company as well. However, despite the occasional challenges, Barbra and James have managed to rise above the noise and maintain a relationship that continues to inspire. Their commitment to personal growth and mutual respect remains at the core of their marriage. In a world where celebrity marriages often face public scrutiny and pressures, Barbra and James have shown that the secret to a lasting bond lies not in perfection, but in the willingness to work through obstacles together. Their story is a testament to the importance of shared values, open communication, and a deep, unwavering love that continues to flourish with time. As they continue to share their lives with each other, Barbra and James remain an example for others, proving that even in the fast-paced, high-profile world of Hollywood, love can endure when two people are willing to put in the effort. Their ability to evolve together, support each other's passions, and face challenges head-on has made their marriage a lasting success story. However, unlike her ex-husband Elliot Gould, James isn't too bothered about this nickname. The source reported that James barely batted an eyelid about it, and he just chuckled. Current state of their relationship. Barbra Streisand and James Brolin have built a lasting and deeply affectionate relationship, defined by mutual respect, understanding, and a connection that has only grown stronger over the years. Now together for over 24 years, the couple celebrated their 22nd wedding anniversary during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, a time that tested many relationships but only seemed to deepen theirs. Barbra commemorated the occasion by sharing a touching Instagram post featuring a throwback photo from their wedding day. In her caption, she expressed heartfelt gratitude for their time together, writing that she couldn't imagine being locked up with anyone else but James. The message, both tender and humorous, underscored the unwavering affection they continue to share. James echoed these sentiments during a virtual appearance on The Talk, noting that spending 15 uninterrupted months together brought them even closer. He described how this period allowed them to reconnect and rediscover each other in new and meaningful ways, an unexpected gift during an otherwise challenging time. In an interview with AARP magazine, James also hinted at the couple's shared artistic ambitions. He expressed excitement about potentially working with Barbra on a future project, with her taking the director's chair and him stepping in as an actor. This collaboration, still in the planning stages, reflects not only their creative synergy, but also their enduring partnership that thrives both at home and in their professional lives. What truly sets their love story apart is the way they continue to nurture their relationship through time, challenges, and evolving life chapters. Their bond has become a shining example of how love, when rooted in respect and friendship, can weather any storm and remain as strong as ever. What do you think about Barbra and James Brolin's marriage? Are their quirks strange, or are they just like every other couple? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. For a more thrilling video, check out the next video that pops up on your screen now.